There's so much content out there talking about how to create content and the benefits and pros and all that great stuff. And I'm part of that too. But in this video, I actually want to talk about some of the downsides, some of the challenges, the behind the scenes of being a content creator. We actually had a Twitter space on this today, and it was super interesting to hear people's struggles and challenges. And there was definitely some common challenges that maybe we can all help each other and improve that situation. First of all, I'm going to start with a thread that Julia created after the Twitter space. So if one of your challenges is creating content, then create content on creating content. And what I mean by that is, if you've been on a Twitter space, watched a YouTube video, read a blog, you could create content on that. Of course, always give credit. I really like how Julia tagged people to give them credit, had a screenshot, it looks awesome, then also shared some tips. That her takeaways, everyone's takeaways are going to be super different. So I'm just going to have a quick look through these, pull a few out for you, and then we're going to go into your questions that you asked during that Twitter space, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on those. One of the most common challenges was time. Time is really hard. We all have only 24 hours in a day, but then we also have other commitments like family, parents, children. Okay, they might be related to family, job. There could be so many different challenges around time. But one thing you could do is schedule in advance. Therefore, if you do have a kind of a really busy day, therefore you're not worrying about creating content on that day because you've got a buffer. If you can create it 1 week to 2 weeks ahead, that really helps. Please don't burn yourself out. That's so much worse. If you do miss a day, a week of content creation, it's not the end of the world. Yes, the algorithm might not like you, but it's not too bad. Make sure you focus on your health. To be honest, I'm really bad about this. So when we get to Thailand, I'm getting into a routine to make sure I go to the gym, do exercise and take a break. Because when we're in UK and it's freezing cold, I don't really go out, don't really do very much, don't want to go to the cold gym. So I usually just end up staying in front of my computer, but that really isn't healthy. So don't do what I do, take the advice of what I say, but this is going to change the next couple of days when we head out in Thailand. Actually, by the time you're watching this video, we'll be there already. The other great point that we discussed and was raised here in the thread is being able to say no. We want to say yes, and we want to help so many people, but there's only so many hours we have in a day. And like I said, we've got to think about our content, ourselves and our family as well. I know you just want to help that one more person that day, one more person, just one more, but then the day will go away and you won't do the things that you need to do. So unfortunately, you need to start saying no. Another thing that I've started doing, which I think works really well, is rather than doing one-to-one DMs or one-to-one calls, try and do group discussions, group calls, group chats, even in Discord or Twitter, wherever it is. Try and do as much as you can in public. You'll be able to then connect with those people and also help other people because they'll be watching the content and it creates content for you. So that way you get content from helping other people as well and from that great discussion. So doing as much as you can in public has definitely got many benefits. I keep mentioning content creation, but I really mean document your journey. So as you can see, we did Twitter Space today, which actually came about from a community call that we had. And I'm creating a video on the Twitter Space that we had today. You can see content keeps creating content because I'm documenting my journey. If you've learned something today, share it. If you asked a question today, share it. If you got stuck today, share it. If you're watching this video, share it. You can create so much content by documenting what you're doing. If you're learning something, share it, but also maybe share it in a blog post or a live stream. Like if you're sharing it in a live stream, you can keep it really raw and authentic. You don't need to know all the answers. You're not saying in the live stream title, I know all the answers. You're saying, I'm going to learn this. So people are there to support you. They want you to succeed. And if you make mistakes, that's fine. We all make mistakes. Do you think this video is as good as you're seeing it? No, my amazing video editor, Alona, has cut out all my mistakes. I'm sure the video has got more bloopers than actual good content. So what I'm trying to say is don't worry about making mistakes. It's all part of the fun, which is why I love learning in public, why I love doing Discord calls and live streams, because we all get to learn together. Now onto the Twitter Space thread that happened at the time. Thank you so much everyone for the amazing and support here. You see great discussion going on, awesome space, amazing space, awesome people. Thank you all so much. Really appreciate the supportive comments. But let's try and get to some of the questions. So here's a question. question, should I stick to one platform or multiple platforms at the same time? Well, you can actually create one piece of content and get that content to work so much harder for you. And what do I mean by that? Well, you could create a longer piece of content like a blog post or a video and then chop it up into tweets or short video clips, or vice versa. You could collect various tweets or threads or short video clips, and you have to rewrite it and recreate the videos, but then you've got the foundations for a longer piece of content. So you can kind of go in both directions. And then you can take different pieces of that content and share it on different platforms. That way, if you've got, say, kind of 5 pieces of content from a bigger piece of content, then you could put 3 over here and 2 over there. You don't need to put all 5 on a single platform, and that way people aren't getting bombarded with the same content. So that's a really good strategy to have. I would say focus on 2 platforms, one short form and one long form. You need that long form content. Instagram and Twitter, for example, and LinkedIn are all short form content. Yes, you can write more on LinkedIn, but it's going to get lost, right? If no one's engaged on it after 2 days, it's gone. It's gone on Twitter, it's gone on Instagram, it's gone on LinkedIn. Yes, it's still there, but it's gone. No one's really going to see it. The algorithm's not going to push it. If it's a blog post or a YouTube video, it has more longevity. It's going to be there 1-2 years later, and people are going to be still discovering it via Google, the biggest search engine in the world, right? Google are going to keep those pieces of content when people are searching for things that are related. So make sure you have both. I think you need 2 because one is more of a short-term gain, so platforms like Twitter, and other platforms like YouTube and blog posts are more of a long-term, kind of like a marathon size. So you want to play both types of angles. But if you're posting to Twitter and you also want to post to LinkedIn and Instagram, by all means do that as well. But I would say focus on 2 and don't burn yourself out. If you can't do all of them, don't do all of them. And you're going to have one of the struggles that I have, which is notifications, which is probably a good problem to have, but it's still a challenge that you have. Actually, we look at the next question. Should I post the same content in different platforms? Is it a good approach? I think for starting out, yes. I think it is a good place to start, especially if you're short on content. But then as you get more content available to you and you're able to pick and choose what content you share, then I would share it different content on different platforms. It might be related to the same subject, but it's not the exact same tip. It's written slightly differently. One might be an audiogram, one might be a video, one might be text only. You could really mix it up. And yes, it is roughly the same type of content, but it's in a different format. That's something you could do, or you could keep it completely different. See what works for you. The only way you're going to figure out what works for you and your audience is to try it. So I highly recommend start today. But at the beginning, if you need to share the same content across multiple platforms, that's fine. It's a good way to get started and get the ball rolling. So the problem I have with my notifications, well, there's 2 problems. One, I get a lot of them. And 2, Twitter doesn't show me all my notifications. I get kind of 10% of notifications, which is kind of a bit strange. I have to go hunt around and find them. And most of them I don't always find. So that's I'm really sad about, because I still want to engage with the people that engage with me on Twitter. But I do get a lot of notifications, and same on GitHub. But I love seeing all the amazing collaboration. And most of the notifications on GitHub have been taken care of by the amazing GitHub maintainers. So it's such a great way to upskill and geek out and grow your network on GitHub and using open source. But this video isn't about open source, so I will save that for another video. I hope you enjoyed this video. So please document your journey. If you learned something today, share it, tag me. Hopefully I get a notification and I'd love to reshare it. But come and chat to us in the GitHub Discord, link in description below.